We have Ghost DBC up next. Let's see. See if we can go HD here. It'll look a little prettier for you guys. Is this alright? Big huge, dude. Big huge. Alright, here we go. So let's see what we got. We got Eichenwald defense here. Starting comp is Orisa, Hog, Soldier, Torb, Ana, Moira. Okay. It's not bad. So usually you said you would go Zen here. That's a good call. Usually, especially on first point Ike, or just with this composition, you're definitely going to want to, like, you guys have more than enough healing in the world. You have all the healing in the world. 2 main healers. You got, no one's going to die. At least until the ultimates happen. So the thing is, having a Zen here, that's fine. But Ana gameplay, I totally get it. We can talk about the Ana gameplay, but you already know this, so we're not going to get too deep into that. Having a defensive ultimate is very strong once you already have a main heal. Alright, good play. Yeah. Good positioning for the most part.
Genji's behind on point.
Good call, good call. Nice anti-grenade. Okay. Nice. Genji, no deflect there. Alright, very good. Trying to kind of strafe and use geometry, use these objects as much as you can as Ana is a huge thing. Even just with any support. What I try and tell people is you're doing a decent job at it so far. But kind of just like hiding your body and just not really giving yourself, giving the enemy team the angles that they want while you're still able to heal and help your team out. Not hiding to the point where you actually can't heal your team, but just using the geometry of the map to kind of just not die from spam, which is what you're doing here to an extent. So
Hanzo's right.
I can't see you.
That's smart.
He's one.
Nice.
Dang it. I got a burst more in Soldier. I was just holding it down there.
It's all good.
Almost have my ult.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So in this case,
Losing point.
who did we nano there? I'm gonna let this fight play out, and then I'm gonna talk about it for a second.
Oh.
Oh.
You heal me?
No, I already ulted Orisa because you were
All right. I think we nanoed Orisa. Who is still alive there? Let's go back. See if there's anything that we could have done differently. So the Hog ulted. You nanoed the Orisa, correct? Okay, so the Orisa was nanoed. Orisa, I mean, any target can technically be a good nano target if you're nanoing them to keep them alive. I don't know if you necessarily meant to nano the Orisa here.
Losing point.
I think you were going for the Hog. The Hog would have been the better play, just because of the damage output, Hog's damage output and the impact that he can have with nano. Here, let me see.
Losing point.
Yeah, so here I would have nanoed the Hog, especially since he's ulting as well. That's just a combo in itself. The Orisa is kind of unlucky. I don't know how the Orisa gets all the way over there. There's not much you can do about that. That Orisa is very, very much so out of position. But yeah, Hog would have been the better nano target there, just simply because he can just output a lot more damage than Orisa can, and you guys, that's what you guys need here. You guys are lacking a little bit of damage. You have the sustain,
Remember, I have ult.
but you just you needed more damage coming out.
No, I already ulted Orisa because you were dead.
And honestly, don't feel too bad about that one. There's not much you could have done. I think your Orisa really, more or less, kind of, I don't want to say threw that one, but fed pretty hard there. There's no reason the Orisa should have been that far.
I switched off Orisa to Ryan.
Cool.
I'm up top.
Just be ready to hold up
What's
this
the
gate here.
correct burst on Soldier now? Is it 3 burst or 5 burst still?
I don't know. What's your crosshair at?
Yeah, so...
What?
Oh, nice sleep.
Crosshair?
Keeping the
Yeah, do
Zarya
you
up
have
here.
like show accuracy on it?
No.
Okay.
Ryan is one.
Nice. So,
I'm with you, Zarya.
nice.
Get Ana. Nice.
Okay, not too much to say yet. Very nice. So, I haven't seen too much the use of the nade offensively. It can be very very strong. Even more more strong, I would say, than if you were to use it as self heal. Like here, you need it for self heal for sure, but there are cases where, especially if there's a hog on the opposing team, if you can anti that hog, he's pretty much dead. He's pretty much done for. Just being it, like knowing when you're able to kind of sneak in an offensive biotic grenade, it can turn the tide of team fights. But here is totally fine. Like you're keeping yourself up, which enables you to keep your team up, which is totally fine. I really don't have too much to say here yet. Let's just kind of like let this play out.
I can't see you, Nick.
Holy shit! I
Nice,
can kill
good
him.
call. Like if you ever
Nobody
can't
can
see
Soldier,
somebody,
or far
make
south.
sure that you say, "Hey, I can't
Nice.
see you." Poke left or poke out, or right, back, left, whatever it is. Just let somebody know that you can't see them. That's a very
Oh
good.
no.
That happens.
I can't
So
It's fine.
I'm just using it
that's
to
a good
save
nano to save your Zarya there.
Zarya.
One could argue that you could have saved your nano for next fight. One
She's
thing
second
that
though.
I do as an Ana is I almost try. It's almost considered greedy, but when I have a nano, and for instance, if our Genji has blade, and if I know we have a pick already and our Genji's blading, and we can save the nano for another fight after we've already know that we've won the fight, then that would be better than using it after a fight that was already won in this case. So if you were to save your nano there, even if your Zarya was low, I know you did it to keep your Zarya alive, and honestly that was, in this case, it's probably the right call, because she might have been, I don't know how high energy, she looks kind of higher energy here.
Sorry, Zarya.
And you guys do get another pick, but there's
Oh,
like,
is she sleeping?
she's literally going in their spawn. Like there's no like
I
there were
guess
only
not.
2 people left.
Huh.
I guess maybe not 3,
Pop
4.
off everybody.
Farah's literally fragging in the spawn, so. But yeah, honestly, I think that was the right play, but there are cases where with Nano, you should save it after you've won the fight, like handedly. Like if you guys are up 3 or 4 and you know, like obviously you're gonna win the fight, then you definitely want to save it.
Just play back,
He
play back.
dashed all the way up to me. No fair.
It's all right.
No, I just killed myself.
You guys definitely want to wipe that. Honestly, if you guys
Oh,
are
nice.
down,
Not that bad.
and I know that was unintentional, and I really don't even have that much criticism, like constructive criticism, like as far as your Ana play goes, at least, because it's been pretty solid for the most part. But what you just did there, unintentionally, was probably for the best, because the faster that you can reset, the faster your team resets as a whole, the quicker you're gonna actually be able to get another fight in.
Don't worry.
The possibility you can build more ults to win
Yeah,
that next
yeah.
fight.
It wasn't that bad.
Try to stay out so we
Okay.
regroup.
Time to switch.
Reaper.
Reaper time.
Reaper? Alright.
Yeah. Another thing here is a lot of times main tanks kind of get gung-ho, or what I like to call big dick energy, where they kind of like to swing and go quite far into the enemy team. I suffer that same thing every now and then. I've gotten a lot better at it, but I see this Reinhardt doing that a lot, where he is kind of just hard inting into the enemy team, and he doesn't necessarily even have his team there with him, or at least maybe 1 or 2 people. You know, but at that point, it's kind of taking like a. It's almost like taking like a 3v6 or a 2v6. This, so if you ever see your main tank or your Rhine pushing a little bit too far, Say Ryan. Just simply say Ryan. Stabilize. Ryan, come back a little bit. I need you to come back.
Hey man, they're
I need you
running,
to hold
two
shield.
big
Ryan, hold
tanks
shield. Ryan, hold shield.
And Genji. I can counter Genji with this guy.
If you're having issues keeping him alive,
Okay,
Ryan,
if
hold
you wanna
shield.
touch.
Ryan, hold shield. Don't swing, please. Maybe don't say the don't swing thing. That might come off as toxic, but just hold shield. That's probably a safe bet.
Baby Diva's asleep.
It's a really good sleep, by the way.
And she's dead.
Hanzo's.
Holy shit. This is like the worst spot for them to be at with a minute
Big
left.
retake, everybody.
Yeah.
They can't wait for the thing to come back.
Yeah, this is good for your team here. This is difficult for the attackers. This is a very difficult position for the attackers. So the positioning here is fine. I recommend not separating yourself from the team
I
here.
can't see you, Nick.
So like your positioning, you should be up here with your team. You should be like, oh, I don't know if you can see my mouse, right? You should be positioned a little bit like you're isolated over here. You don't even have. I don't even think you have your Moira. I don't know if you have your Moira or not, but you're pretty isolated over here. Like what happens if someone were to come down, or if there's a monkey that decided to dive after,
I'm just gonna
so
give you Nano.
this is fine now.
Not now!
What?
Uh-oh.
They're not even here!
I thought you were gonna go in, like teleport or something.
No! That's
Alright.
dumb.
Sorry.
That's not.
Obviously, I'm sure you I'm sure you know that wasn't the play. The team fight hasn't started. I don't want to beat this one. I don't want to beat this one too hard. Because I'm sure you know that wasn't the play. And I've done that same thing where I accidentally like misclick Q, or I press Q down and I don't mean to, and it happens. I don't know if you meant to or not, but just because somebody is calling nano me does not mean that you should nano them. You should always use your best judgment when to nano somebody. Always. Always, always, always. Because even as a main tank, when I want to engage, because I've done the same thing where I say, hey, Anna, nano me, and I'm not even in yet. I'm like halfway to the fight. I'm like diving. I'm like midway there. I'm like halfway there as Monkey, and I'm asking for the nano when I should get it right as the engagement happens, instead of getting it long before or a couple seconds before the engagement happens. Nano doesn't have doesn't have that long of a duration, right? So the more value, the longer that player you nano has nano, the more value they're gonna provide with it.
Good for the VOD.
No.
So always use your best judgment when to nano somebody. I mean, if you guys call for Nano Blade, obviously use nano on your Genji, but always try to use best judgment with nano. You're gonna see a lot more success out of it, especially in ladder.
Oh, we got this.
Whatever. My crap Nano doesn't matter.
It's okay.
Genji's half.
Nice.
Big.
Easy.
Lucid's
Lucio
coming
coming left.
So this, so right here, one sec. That was a good sleep. Where your position right here is fine, but versus a more coordinated team or in higher, like a little bit higher elo, you're technically putting yourself in inherent danger here, where you could actually just, instead of doing that, like, yeah, it's fine to step up here, sleep the Lucio, great, come back, play this wall right here.
Left.
There's no reason for you to even move past this, honestly. Like, you can see everyone from here, you can heal everyone from here, and you're maximizing your cover. Like, there's no snipers that are going to be able to hit you unless they're sitting up here. Well, guess what? There's a Pharah they have to deal with first. I mean, I know you guys are going to win this fight here, but it's just something to keep in mind. Position, pretty much any and every support hero is position heavy. I mean, you could argue every role in the game is, but support more than others for sure. So the better position you have, the more likely you are going to be winning team fights or in a position
Nice
to win
hit.
team
Good
fights.
job, guys.
This is easy to win.
So like that was fine. Like recognize when you can get aggressive, throw an anti-grenade at the enemy team,
I mean, if we win,
and,
though, then
recognize when you need to save it for
that's not as
yourself.
good of a VOD.
Excuse me,
need
when
a
you
VOD
need to
where
save
I'm
it for
playing like
yourself.
crap. I mean, okay, to be fair,
No, don't. I still can't hear anyone.
I don't know, man.
There's only 2 people in chat. What the fuck? Why is this happening?
So if you don't mind me
Okay,
asking,
so
Dose,
I give it like a 50-50 chance if they run Bastion or not.
Go. So what is your hero like? Like? Do you usually play main support? So like Ana, Mercy. I'm sorry, not Ana, but Lucio, Mercy. Like, are those your preferred, or do you play like flex support like Ana, Zen, Moira, like whatever? Like, what would you prefer? You seem like a flex support player to me. I mean, obviously you're playing Ana, and you said that you usually would play Zen, but that might not be a bad I'm a plat DPS main, but this is my support only account, mainly on his own. Oh, okay, that's totally excuse me, that's totally fine. The only reason I was saying
Say
this,
that they will run Bastion.
so one of the main things I like to bring up here, obviously, you know, competitive Overwatch is competitive Overwatch. You know, people are going to play what they want to play at the end of the day. But if you can provide more synergy based on what your team has, I would suggest doing so. But if you're obviously, you know, you're trying to practice something, that's totally fine. But if you're really trying to climb here, what you would do is like with these tanks, this front line, instead of a Ana, since you guys already have a Moira as a main healer, you would play Lucio because these tanks are very immobile. They're just not fast at all, and they almost suffer without a Lucio. Without the Lucio speed boost. Tanks that are mobile, like Diva, like Winston, like Wrecking Ball, they synergize very well with the Zenyatta. Just because the Zenyatta is ranged, he can provide a lot more damage to the team, and your tanks are mobile. So they don't necessarily need the speed boost as much, and it's not going to provide as much value to those dive tanks. But in this case, if you could go Lucio here, that would be best case scenario. I understand why you play Ana. That's totally fine. But just food for thought.
Yeah, we'll see. We might just have to try to.
Also, another thing, a very big pet peeve of mine, like I said, understand that people play what they want to play, and that's totally fine. It's a game at the end of the day. But if you want to provide more synergy to your team in a situation where maybe you have a Winston and a Diva and then a Genji and then a Tracer, like a dive composition more or less, you're going to want to not play Moira there because Moira thrives with people that kind of stick together. She cannot really heal like mobile. She really just can't heal mobile heroes because she has to either put herself in danger to get to them to heal them, or she has to whip an orb in hopes of, you know, maybe healing something. So in that case, Ana would be best case scenario. In my opinion, Ana is probably the best main healer in the game.
To hide on point.
Yeah, they could do like the high ground above it.
Just
or,
because
like,
her
try
kit
and
is
hold
so
it
very
with the
powerful.
choke, but I don't know.
And you can
Usually
honestly
if, like,
use her with
you
ground
get-
tanks
if the
as
defending
well.
team has a good
But
hold
like I said,
and
Moira
flexible
is
to
just
go
not
back.
very good with dive tanks. Moira's totally
If they do
fine
go back
here
in, we could probably get a Sombra.
with
That
these
might be
tanks
a
that
lot.
are kind of just ground based. But
I
with
can play
tanks that
Sombra,
are
we can play
mobile,
I can
she's
play Sombra
she's
if
not
y'all
very
want.
good.
High's main Sombra.
Yeah, just
My friend is actually playing
well,
on my main
then
since
Heights,
my
you
ult
got
was
that
too low to
Sombra.
play with his man. Ah, okay.
So
Probably
we
shouldn't have
will
read
see
that
what
one,
they
but keep that one to yourself, Ghost. We don't approve of account sharing here, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
can walk behind
But-
them too.
We
Yeah.
do approve of friendships, and that's what it's about. All right, let's get into this. See what we got.
For a second.
Are they
Alright.
Bastion? I don't think so.
So you guys are already suffering because you simply just cannot move. They're taking too long to get past that Orisa
Reloading.
shield. and in turn
Fuck.
taking too much damage.
Maurice's left.
So, like you got your Reinhardt shield's gonna get blown up before he even gets close to the Orisa shield, and then once he gets there, he's going to die. Especially if he moves past it, because he's not going to receive healing from his Ana. So,
Oh, he
Reset,
died.
reset.
Oh, that was a bad anti.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
like I said, I have a feeling for some odd reason that they first point hold you guys on defense. I actually have not watched through this yet, but
I can't see you. Oh,
That's
that's
not
not
me.
you.
okay, Orisa's ult's out.
Okay.
People are kind of just stringing in.
Alright, they're gonna have Nano Blade, I think.
I don't know how we can deal with that.
You.
Sometimes it just happens.
Alright,
I
we
mean,
got
they
Nano
kind of
Visor.
just use ults.
Like,
So you
he
guys have
just died
Grav,
from
you
the
have
first word.
Coalescence
Yeah,
coming
it's
up,
fine.
or you have Coalescence. You have Nano Visor. You can
He's
combo
almost
Nano
dead.
Visor,
Where are you?
and always relay that too. If you notice someone has Visor and they don't say anything like Nano Me or whatever, you can say we can Nano Visor. Just kind of like create a game plan, you know? Just simple, just very very simple small things that will help
I'm
out.
not almost dead. He's almost dead.
Yeah.
Let's just wait out the trans.
Good idea.
Just back up, guys. Back up. Wait out the trans.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure
same
like
My shield's gonna recharge.
let's see.
Fuck me.
Yeah, so
That's my
that
ult.
would have
I'm
stopped
going
that from happening. If you would have called out to whoever you were grouped with, saying, "Hey, hey, dude, like, let's nanovisor, let's do this, right?" So since they nanobladed you and you guys don't have a defensive ultimate like a Lucio's beat or a Zenyatta's Transcendence to stop the team wipe, you pretty much just reset there. That's a one and done. You say, "All right, guys, no ultimates, right?" No ultimates. Yeah, but pretty much just saying like, don't use any ultimates. Like, just wipe it. Like you guys are already 2 down. Your soldier drops his visor, and that's just just make a simple call. Just be like, hey guys,
Yeah, I'm
Just
going.
dry fight. No ultimates.
1-3.
No
Okay,
ultimates here.
we have
Can work with
faster
that.
respawns, so we should.
Yeah, let's just wait. Once we're all back, then we can.
Oh,
push
you
it.
did
Genji
say
will
it?
Probably be close. to
Soldier
that,
must
but
not have
quite yet.
listened.
Is everyone up? I'm gonna nano you, Ryan, when you go in.
Okay.
Okay, so
That
that's
shield just went
a
up,
good
try to
call.
fix it.
So
Jesus
this
Christ.
is another situational thing with Ana. You might have been able to win that team fight if you were able to get a nano on your Zarya off there. Sometimes it is better to, even though you say, okay, Ryan, I'm going to nano you. Sometimes things happen. This game is just so dynamic. You never know what's going to happen. You really don't. You can have an idea, but you truly never know what will happen until it does happen. You can kind of premeditate it. But, like I said, your Zarya got hooked there. You didn't think that was going to happen, right? You could have saved her with the nano, and she would have gotten an immense value since she had all those people in the grab there. She probably would have been able to just zap them all down. I mean, her Reinhardt was still alive there for a second too. He wasn't even close. He was not even close to that grab, and he got nanoed. Let's see.
Jesus Christ.
Sit.
Oh, he was close. It's just
Shield
unfortunate.
just went up, try to
So
fix it.
what I would have done there instead of nanoing the Ryan would have been nano the Zarya, just to keep her alive. It would have been more impactful in this team fight.
Jesus Christ.
I know it can be really difficult, and if they're too far, there's nothing you can do about it. But
Zara, you want to switch
But yeah.
to the Sombra maybe?
I don't know what to do, man.
you guys definitely need shield
I don't
break.
either.
But
I guess if we do lose, then this is like
Hey.
the
This is
the
like a
way to
Zarya
really
fight.
win here, if you guys want to run the Ryan Zarya here, or if your Reinhardt just really isn't going to switch, is for you to swap Lucio. That's simply all you really need. I don't know if you play Lucio or not, but if you do, what you would do here is swap to Lucio and simply use speed to get past the Orisa shield, shatter the entire enemy team. And to be honest with you,
Okay,
Ghost
guys, just
DBC,
stay behind
I'm a trash Lucio too. I'm not gonna lie. I do not have many hours on Lucio. There have been situations where, like this for instance, we would have just lost without it. I would go Lucio,
just-
even no matter what.
Sombra.
Hey, let's
Like-
Sombra pull
Go,
him.
go, go.
It's
Sombra's
looking
just
pretty
rolling in.
grim, anyways, right?
Yeah, Sombra.
So,
I guess
I
you're
mean,
back
at that point,
trying
right at
to
that, like
hold him
after
to
those,
like-
after you guys use your ults and you didn't get anywhere, something needs to change. Now, you know, it is up to the, you know, your team,
Right, there we go.
but you can have an impact. You can have an impact on yourself, on the game, just by changing yourself, right? So there's nothing you can do about your team changing, but you yourself can change things up
God damn it.
at the least, right? Yeah. No, I understand. I understand that you're focusing on Ana gameplay here, but like I said, just these are things to keep in mind regardless.
Well, fuck, dude.
Also, I know you guys are probably gonna lose this here, but
Oh.
I didn't really see too many value sleep darts. So instead of what I usually do is Ana, yeah, you can get greedy by throwing a sleep dart or two out, trying to, you know, when you have space to be able to do that, when you're not getting pressured in the backline as an Ana, you are able to get greedy and you are able to kind of just like sleep like something if you can from a distance. But 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to hit anything, and at that point, you've exhausted a very, very powerful ability that you could use to peel for yourself. And what I mean by peel for yourself is pretty much giving yourself aid. Peeling is, long story short, so for instance, you're an Ana and you're getting pressure in the back line, calling for help would be, hey, I need help. Genji's on me, Genji's on your Ana. Your diva turns around and starts to defense matrix you to help you out, to care you, right? To aid you, to make sure you don't die. That would be an example of peeling. Ana is one of the most powerful heroes in the game because she has self-peel, which is aka her sleep dart ability. Can literally turn the tide of a team fight in an instant, right? So if you have a Genji coming in with Nano Blade, and you whip a sleep dart and you land that on that Genji, 9 times out of 10, it's two ults for one ability. One ability. That's insane. There's no other ability in the game that provides that value. No other ability in the game. Ana is easily the strongest hero in the game, no doubt. But like I said, so just keeping that sleep dart, not trying to get greedy. I know it's everyone wants to go for those flashy sleep darts from, you know, 100 yards deep, those ML7 sleep darts, but in reality, you know, it might not always be the best case. What I try to do is I will get greedy once or twice when I know I can, when I'm not getting pressured by anybody or anything. But as soon as we even get close to starting a team fight, I will make sure that I have that. I'm holding that sleep dart just in case there's a flanker that decides they want to try and attack me, right? Making sure to have that off cooldown is huge.
Oh my god.
And the thing is it's very mechanical too. It can be very difficult to land a sleep dart, and a lot of people have difficulties doing so. But like you said, the anti-nade, with the anti-nade, it's very situational as well. There are instances where you guys might have an upper advantage in a team fight, or you can sneak it behind a Ryan shield when he drops it for a time, like a moment. That's huge. You can turn the tide of a team fight. Or like you did earlier, you threw your anti-grenade into the grav. That was the right play. Imagine throwing an anti-grenade into a grav and the enemy Zenyatta transes and nobody gets any healing from it. Imagine. One ability. So powerful.
I don't know what went wrong there.
It was a good try, guys.
Yeah, nice try.
Both abilities are just as strong. But yeah, that is kind of my synopsis of this VOD here. Did you have any questions? Did anybody have any questions? Overwatch Potato, surprise VOD review. Can you please? Very funny, Potato. Very funny. You gonna be at the scrim tonight, Potato? But yeah, if you guys have any questions, Ghost, please let me know. I don't know if I hopefully provided some value to you there. I know a lot of what I talked about wasn't even necessarily with the Ana there. A lot of it was kind of just like about the game and kind of in generalized statements about, you know, counter swapping or swapping for synergy to try and synergize with your teammates better. That's what you ultimately should have done in this game. Excuse me, in this game, if you really were interested in the win there. But as far as just working on your Ana, definitely, I would recommend it. There's a workshop mode. There's like an Ana sleep challenge. I highly recommend getting in that and spending like 15 to 20 minutes a day. Just, I mean, it's fun, dude. Like, it puts you in a little circle, and then it throws AI at you. Just, like, get in the game with a buddy, and then you just practice your sleep darts. And it can be super helpful for you when you actually hop into a game, and you can land a sleep dart on a Genji that's, you know, got nano and he's blading, and you shut him down with a single ability. You win the team fight, right? And then you nano somebody, and then you guys win. Like, it can be very, very strong, so... Like I said, one of the major things to take from this, I think, is like your positioning was quite good for the most part. I'd say as far as that goes, your team kind of let you down in a sense. If you ever can't see somebody, like you said, we watch you, you know, say, you know, hey, I can't see you. Move to the left, move to the right. Come, you know, poke me. Whatever you need to say to make sure that you can heal somebody. But yeah. And the other thing, the second thing, the major thing, like I said, we've been talking about sleep darts a lot. It was just mainly because I noticed your use of the sleep darts could have been a little bit better there. But yeah. Your biotic grenades usage was pretty solid. I don't really have anything to say about that. It seems like you really know what you're doing with the biotic grenade. But the sleep dart needs a little bit of work. Yeah. Just pretty much knowing when you're able to use it and when you need to have it at the ready to stop any attackers.